Hello, UFC fans, and welcome back to another episode of the Calf Kick Experience. I'm your host, Zach Vanilla Z Gleason, here with my co-host, as usual, Gage the Pasty Gangster Hamby. How's it going, brother, man?
Well, we took a dive last week, and that might be fucking better's luck. But we're back at it, and we're about to do this shit better than ever. In our hometown, UFC 265 in H-Town, we're going to fucking nail this shit this week, son.
I was about to say, y'all might have noticed I'm in a new setup. I got one picture on the wall as opposed to 25. I'm in the H, ready to rock with it. And Gage just got back from freaking Cheyenne, Wyoming. Cheyenne, yeah, huh?
Shout out to all them cowboys and cowgirls out there. That shit was live.
It was a good time.
Oh, yeah, it was a good time, but I didn't miss the fights, I'll tell you that. And it fucking hurt. I'm hurt.
I mean, down to Patricio Pitbull, man. We couldn't have done worse last week if we tried hard. So guess what? We tried a lot less this week. So we're going to win.
Yes, we're also coming to you later in the week, which sucks. But hey, there was so much turmoil last week with the switch of the picks. We're coming with actual fights that are on date that are going to happen. Let's rock and roll, son.
Yeah, we're bringing you fights that will take place. And you know what? We're not going to cut it this week. Back to the original CKE format. We're going to run an hour-long video, intro, outro, all the fixins. So I guess let's take it away. We got to look at last week just a little bit, huh?
Yeah, like I prefaced, we both shit the bed. First time that I've gone over. Literally didn't fucking shit a big old goose egg. Didn't fucking pick anybody right. So
Me neither. It was the week of the statistical anomalies. Freaking Jason Witt had been knocked out, 2 out of his last 3 fights in the first round, and decides, oh yeah, I'm going to go fight 15 rounds with the dude that everybody's hyping up. Don't listen to the media, I guess. But then Cheyenne Bays decides, I haven't finished a fight since my very first professional fight. I should kick this girl in the head and go ahead and just end this shit. She got 50K. That was a really cool video, but nothing that was supposed to happen happened last week. What the fuck, man?
I'm telling you, and since I was in Colorado, which is a legalized gambling state, I went ahead, signed up for DraftKings, but those motherfuckers wouldn't let me gamble for whatever reason. They couldn't verify my identity. And I was all hyped up. I was like, oh yeah, I'll put $25 in, make myself a nice parlay. Parlayed Uriah Hall, Glory DePaula, and Barbarina for $25. Parlay would have paid out like 500. Boy, am I glad that they didn't allow me to gamble.
None of them won.
None.
Dude, I just don't even want to talk about it. Let's leave the past in the past, man. We could sit here and talk X's and O's, but that shit's boring, and our picks were dog shit last week. We'll say it one last time, but it's over. It's over. We're due. I think we're both overdue for a fat payout this week on a big card.
Oh, absolutely. We're going to get down and dirty. Let's get into UFC 265. Cyril Gane versus Derek the Black Beast Lewis. Shout out H-Town one more time. Let's get into it. All right. First, we got the first fight of the main card. We have Casey Kenny coming at 16-3-1. He's coming off a loss to Dominic Cruz. His stats are 5'7" at 135, the bantamweights with a 68-inch reach. Actually has a really nice record. And overall, absolute stud. Banger of a guy. You don't want to get knocked down with this guy. He'll fuck you up. On the other side, we have the Kung Fu Monkey Song Yudong coming at 16-5-1. His stats are 5'8" with a 67-inch reach, also in the bantamweight 135. And he is coming off a loss to our boy Kyler Phillips, who we took a dive on a couple of weeks ago, but also before that, coming off a nice win versus Marlon Vera. All right, Zach, let's get into the analysis. What are your thoughts?
I thought it was funny that one of the first cards I remember watching like completely and fully through was that Overeem versus Harris card in May of 2020, and Song Yadong beat Marlon Vera on it. And I just remember watching that with Gage actually in person and our other buddy Garrett, and I mean, rooting for Song Yadong to win. He's one of the reasons I think subliminally that I got into watching mixed martial arts and somehow ended up here. But looking more analytically, Casey Kenny's not bad. He's got a good ground game. He likes to wrestle, and in the bantamweight division, he usually gets guys on the ground. I mean,
He likes
Dominic.
to bang though. He likes to bang.
No, he's got no shortage of power in his hands either. His hands look solid. I mean, Dominic Cruz is a very quality loss, even late in his career, because like he's one of those guys for a veteran you would still call crafty. Like, no, he's not the same Dominic Cruz that had the belt, but he's
Still
a
very
very
good.
I mean, he knows how he's finding new ways to win. On the other hand, Song Yadong, freaking Hulk hands. That dude's got freaking bombs in his hands. His counters are scary. And just kind of looking at Strickland from last week, the way that he pressures and the way that he walks guys down when he fights them excites me. I think Casey Kenny's going to have a hard time implementing any sort of ground game if Song Yadong can keep him on the back foot the whole time. So I'm going Song Yadong by decision here. What you got?
Well, I think this is gonna be a fucking brawl fight. This is gonna be a barroom fucking basher, son. I don't see this really going on the ground at all. I mean, Song Yudong, I went back and watched his draw to who is that? Cody Stamen, who's an excellent wrestler, excellent fighter overall, and he really didn't, didn't succumb to the wrestling.
Song Yadong's takedown defense is good.
Yes, very good, and I just think he has a little bit more power in his hands. I saw a nice wheel kick out of him. Not to say that either guy is more creative than the other. I think they're both actually very creative and very good strikers. Over down. Excuse me, my mic.
Pause for a second. Yeah, you just died out.
Sorry for the technical difficulty, folks. We're moving on to the fight odds.
Don't sue me, Sports Center.
All right. So we're looking at the odds here. Got Casey Kenny, the best you can give him, as -110, and Song Yudong at +102. That's fairly even money on both sides, I'd have to say, Zach. Your thoughts on the betting line?
Oh, dude, I agree. And the really sad thing is I usually pick favorites, and I'm seeing a lot of value in some underdogs this week. I'm thinking I'm going to go big into the dog myself personally. But looking at that last fight against Kyler Phillips shit the bed for us last week, but he's got that quick twitch with the wrestling. He beat Song Yadong in the first 2 rounds. So round 3, Song Yadong fights like a desperate man and looks like crap. I don't think that's the case. I think Casey Kenny's a little bit more of a grinder. I don't think Song Yadong is going to let him get on the ground and lay on him. So I just think at +105 is what it is for him. +102.
Yeah.
That's too easy. That's too easy. Give me my plus money. And then what kind of props are you looking into at this point, Gage?
Well, let's look at some props right here. I'd say if you're gonna look at anything, maybe you start at the fight does not go to decision at +160, but then again, you gotta think these are 135ers. Knockouts are
the
pretty
other way, man.
Really.
I'm thinking the fight does go to decision on this one. I just think
-164 is steep though.
100%. I wouldn't bet it, but I don't. What else? What else do we have? What's our over unders?
All right,
look. Odds there. Those aren't any good either.
No, I mean, not looking at real nice in any of these prop bets. I'd say. I mean, Kenny +700. I mean, if you're gonna throw a fucking dart in the dark, maybe hit a bullseye. +700. I'm not gonna say it's gonna happen, but it's way better than Yadong's +455.
I mean, way better, and yet Song Yadong's +455 is still pretty fucking good. Like,
oh yeah,
it depends on who you're rolling with here, but like, If you dig far enough, there's some value in this fight. I think personally, like we're both gonna go with Song Yadong and that money line at plus. That's enough for me to say pay up.
Yeah, I mean, I don't. It's no big balls and countdown by any means, but I think we're. I wouldn't say we're confident. This is one of those toss ups. Obviously, the odds makers see it the same way. That's why there's not big money either way. But I think we're both rolling Song Yadong here.
I
Any
was about to
last
say
words?
I'm pretty confident in this one. I'm pretty solid on Song Yadong here. I wouldn't go for any props. I mean, unless you want to take the gamble at a pretty steep bet in my head that the fight does go to decision, but Song Yadong, and I'm confident in it. My
Yadong,
boy,
you heard it here.
we have a mental connection. I can feel him downtown, like 7 minutes from me. I can feel you, Song. Anyway, take me to the next fight.
Moving on, we have Tisha, the tiny tornado Torres, coming at 12-5. She's coming at 5'1". Yeah, she's tiny, but she's mighty. Coming at 115, the strawweight division with a 61-inch reach. She is coming off 2 wins, and you can see she went through a dry spell where she got 4 losses. But if you look at these names are the top of the top, creme de la creme, and all decision losses. The young J Chick, Zhang, and Andrade. This right here is a solid stack up of fighters. Her opponent is Angela Overkill Hill, coming at 13-9. She's coming at 5'3", got 2-inch height advantage and 64.5-inch reach. She is coming off 1 win and 2 losses, also to quality names, Michelle Warson, Claudia Gadelia. So this fight's actually already happened. If I scroll back far enough, when did that happen, Zach? Yeah, 2015. She already lost to Tisha Torres.
I think, if I'm not mistaken, I believe that was Tisha Torres' first ever mixed martial arts fight, too.
Yeah, I think it was Angela Hill's second, if I'm not mistaken, either.
Yeah.
But they were young then. Now they got some experience. They both fought some of the top ladies in the strawweight, which is one of the more stacked divisions at this point in women's MMA. Let's get into some analysis. What do you think?
Oh man. What do I think? Just kidding. I think Tisha Torres, you kind of hit on it. She's a really small strawweight, which is interesting because that's the smallest division that exists in the whole promotion. Not quite in the world. We're not talking atom weights, but close. And Angela Hill is really big for strawweight, so I think that's going to play an advantage. Angela Hill is going to have about a 4.5-inch reach advantage, which will be huge because she's primarily a kickboxer and has a Muay Thai background. So I think her being able to play at distance is huge. And when every time we talk about a rematch, you have to look at what's different between now and when they fought the first time. The first time, Angela Hill had no wrestling defense, and Tisha Torres was able to get her on the mat many times. So I think Angela Hill's a more well-rounded mixed martial artist now. I'm not super impressed with what Tisha Torres has done since coming off of those string of losses. I think the level in competition, has gone down and favored her. And at the end of the day, I imagine this fight is probably going to go to a decision, but anytime we let the judges in on this, there's always room for error. And from what I've read and researched, especially when the fight is in Texas. So that's all I got.
Funky. I'm going to take the opposing viewpoint here. I'm taking the tiny tornado. I've loved what I've seen from her in her last couple fights. I think her level of competition in that string of losses was literally like the best top 3.
No, it was deadly.
Top 3 women you could fight, Wei Li, Joanna, and Andrade. So, I mean, you can't really hold that against her. But from what I've seen, I love her fucking tenacity. She earned the name Tiny Tornado because holy shit, her combinations, the best way I could describe it for a tiny person like that is absolutely vicious. And she comes with ferocity. And I love that, and I think she gives it her all. and throw as hard as she can. Now, does
No,
she tire out? Maybe a little bit, but she still has very good cardio. So I'm
no,
gonna
I
take.
agree. She definitely fights like a shorter fighter in terms of like you're saying, when she comes in, I mean, there's no stopping her, man. She gets inside and she'll throw 5, 6, 7 combo punches and just come at you. But I don't know. I think Angela Hill is gonna keep her at distance. And it's really funny because if you go further down Tisha Torres' history, in her amateur fights, she's lost to Carla Esparza. She beat Paige Van Zant. She beat Rose once, actually back in Invicta, but that was what, in 2013. So she beat Angela Hill already. I just think this go round is going to be different because at the end of the day, neither one of these girls has the prettiest record. And I mean, what's her name? Tisha Torres already has history with the champ in the division. So not really sure what implications there are behind this fight.
But it's going to be a good fight regardless. I think we can both agree on that.
Good
It's
match,
not.
quality matchmaking for sure.
I think that they did an excellent job on matchmaking, unlike last weekend where they just completely took a dump on our fucking televisions on ESPN, I believe, and that was just fucking pitiful. Like hey, if you're gonna put it on ESPN, UFC, you gotta do a better job. I know you had a bunch of dropouts, but it was a weak card to begin with.
I was about to say Dana was struggling to put this weekend's card together, and this weekend's card is supposed to be a pay-per-view. I'm taking my ass straight to the stream site. At the end of the day, this site, I mean, not this site, this card's good. It's solid. I'll give them credit for that, but it's because Dana completely scrapped last week's card and basically did what we've done in the past. Not to throw us under the bus, but I mean, you can't not post a video. You can't not have a fight card one week. That's just not how it works. Even if it sucks, at least it's up.
Yeah. And I think that not having Nunez on this card is a big blow. I think that that's going to hurt more than they probably thought. But however, these two fights that we've gone over, even though they're not might not be the biggest names, they are both going to be quality fights. I think we can say that with pretty much confidence. Let's get in the odds here.
Let's look at some betting.
All right. Get up here. All right. We have Angela Hill as the underdog at plus 117 and Tisha Torres is the minus 135 favorite. Zach?
I'm looking at props. I'm trying to explore, but the odds on this fight goes to decision are minus 325. I'd like to agree with that. So I guess if you want to have a sure bet or something to play in a parlay, this fight going to decision makes a lot of sense to me. But I guess I like my plus money on Angela Hill at plus 117. And, like we kind of like to do, if you really want to throw a dart in the dark and blindfold yourself and rodeo circus it behind your back, Angela Hill by TKO at plus 650 is not the most horrible thing I've ever heard.
Where's that Hill plus 650? Yeah, I mean, it's a shot in the dark, like you said, the rodeo, but I don't think I would touch either of the knockout props. I think they're too dangerous. I mean, especially they're not really both known for like knockout power, I'd say, on a consistent basis. And they're both strikers. So they're going to be wary of each other in this fight and each other's power. Now,
that's actually a positive, though. The more I think about it and the more we sit here and go, well, shit, I don't want to touch any of these prop bets. They're all too steep. They all kind of suck. It's like, well, it's because I feel like the card is pretty competitive. It's not like anybody has, minus money to knock anybody out. I mean, up to this point, at least. Like, I'm interested to see it. It looks like we're going to have some brawls this weekend.
I do agree with you. I think, hopefully we get a knockout at the end of the card, but we're going to speak about that a little bit.
Yeah, we have business to talk about first.
We have H-Town business, the H-Town connection right here. All right, we're going to get on to our next fight here. We have Michael the Maverick Chiesa coming at 17-4. Yeah, buddy. Take a little swig. Take a little swig for us. Sheesh. Slap that fucking bag.
And I think now's the perfect time. I've done a wine promo before, Decoy 2018, Cabernet Sauvignon. This, Franzia, Sunset Blush, came out of a box. Tasty. Sponsor us. Franzia. Move on.
Back to Michael Chiesa, the Maverick, in the welterweight division at 175 or 100 pounds. God damn it, 170 pounds. I'm sorry, folks. His height is 6'1" with a 75 and 1/2 inch reach. He is coming off a sizable 4-fight win streak where he beat Neil Magny, RDA, Diego Sanchez, and Carlos Conduit. All quality names. They had a little losing streak. Kevin Lee, Anthony Pettis. Those guys are also fucking good. Also, beat Benel Dariush. What I'm trying to say here, folks, is he's had tough competition. He's fucking good. He's ready to fight. His opponent, Vicente, the silent assassin, Luque, coming in at 27-1 in the welterweight division. Height, 5'11", with a 76-inch reach. This man, even though he's a Brazilian, I call him a BB, Brazilian brawler. Coming off a 3-fight win streak before a loss to our boy, the Wonder Boy Man, something, maybe Wonder Girl, Stephen Thompson. Anywho, Zach, I'll hand it over to you.
One of the things I just have to note is Michael Chiesa coming up to 170 was a fantastic decision on his part. His gas tank looks so much better at 170, so he can grapple and wrestle and do the things he's good at. And it's almost outstanding to me that at one point in his career, he even made 155, considering he's still a big welterweight. However, I think I'm going to go with the BB, the Brazilian badass. I think Vicente Luque has just good enough takedown defense because Chiesa is not a guy that likes to shoot and fire for double legs in the middle of the cage. He kind of likes to pummel you up against the cage and press on you and wrestle from the clinch, from that stance. I think Vicente Luque is a guy that's pretty flat-footed. He comes forward a lot of the times in his fights, and I just think at some point Chiesa is going to eat something nasty. I mean, they both have relatively good chins. I think Vicente Luque's is better, and Vicente Luque's Brazilian jiu-jitsu is so good that even if Chiesa can get a takedown, he's going to be active off his back and looking for a submission to the point where Chiesa might not even want to take him down towards the end of the fight. And neither one of them is, let me rephrase. Chiesa is not bad on the feet. Vicente Luque is really good on the feet. So I think just given that, this might be our scrap of the night. This might be the one that gets dirty, gritty, banger, but I'm going with the Brazilian badass.
All right. As much as I'd love to respect that, I don't respect it not one fucking bit, you schmuck. Anyways, more professional I think he had it right. Vicente Luque, excellent on the feet. I didn't know much about him. I always heard his name. Maybe got him confused with Damian Maia, but excuse me. I'm sorry about that. He's not Damian Maia. He's much better than Damian Maia.
Whoa. At this point.
But his stand-up game, phenomenal. Guy is an absolute stud on the feet. And I didn't see necessarily when I was watching film anybody taking him down. Obviously, I don't watch every single one of his fights. I watch his last 3. Nobody was really able to take him down and keep him down. However, I've been burned so many times in the past by picking against a wrestler against a brawler. And Michael Chiesa, he's good on the feet. He's not excellent. He's no Kamaru Usman. But good Lord, can he take you down and fucking pummel you like Khabib? I'm not saying he's Khabib, but his takedowns are fucking phenomenal. And he's quick with it. And he disguises it well. I can't let another American wrestler fucking whip my ass in these picks. So I'm going Michael Chiesa because he's going to take him down. And no matter what fucking Brazilian jiu-jitsu you train or what fucking degree black belt, getting elbowed in the face is pretty much fucking indefensible. So
we'll see. The only thing that I'm looking at right now that gives me hope is Vicente Luque doesn't have a history of going against strong grapplers, excuse me. Because like we say pretty much every week, this is the stereotypical. This is the striker versus the grappler. But the only real blemishes on his record are to some of the top strikers in their respective divisions. So I'm sticking with the silent assassin. I think Michael Chiesa is going to get stuck.
And if I'm not mistaken, they kind of matched up Luque versus Tyron Woodley, I think, here recently. But also, T Wood, no offense, is fucking washed up and looked like shit in his last 3 fights. So I don't think that really has any bearing on what Michael Chiesa will be able to do.
No, I was about to say he's a former champion of the world, and honestly, I think that's what put Vicente Luque in this position.
Yep.
Because I mean, at this point, Luque is only 29, so he's still got plenty of time. But I don't know. I feel like Chiesa's fought a lot of the top guys in the division already. I feel like not his time's running out because he's still pretty young too, but I just don't see him getting it done. I'm going to leave it at that. We got to go look at some odds, but I don't see him getting it done.
One final point of that is he handled Neil Magny pretty well, and Neil Magny looked great against Jeff Neal. So that's of note.
I'm banking on Magny being a lankier welterweight, a bigger, taller guy, and Luque having a little bit more girth on his dick. But
all right, that. Getting into the odds, Michael Chiesa, even money plus 100 across the board. That's all right. Not too enticing. And Vicente Luque, the best you can get him as at minus 110. Zach?
Well, at minus 110, believe it or not, this is the first favorite I'm going with of the night. But I don't even know, man. These props. I'm willing to take a stab at Luque by TKO at plus 390. And then at that point, if I'm going to play that, I feel like you almost have to look at your decision props because it's minus 110 that the fight goes and plus 105 that it doesn't. So looking at their like respective histories, I don't know. I think I'm leaning more towards the fight doesn't go to decision at the positive money in terms of favoring my guy by knockout.
That's a risky bet. I mean,
it is a risky bet.
Michael Chiesa is one tough SOB if I've ever seen one. Like, not to suck his dick or anything, but he's a pretty fucking tough guy, and he's not very chinny. And that's
they both have really good chins, so that's why I think the favorite is that the fight does go to decision.
And I mean, obviously the odds makers know this. At minus 110 for it goes to decision and plus 105 for it doesn't go to decision, it's not looking tasty at all. I mean, those are pretty shitty fucking odds if we're being completely honest.
Well, I think they're great odds. It's just a trap. They want to get you to bet on that, and I'm changing my mind. I think this fight is going to go to decision. I really do at this point. And if I end up falling into the trap of changing my mind, you guys will have heard it here first on the Calf Kick Experience. But I don't know, man.
Stay away is what we're saying.
Take your money line. Bet big money on money line. Watch the prelims. Make some parlays. Do yourself some favors.
Yes. All right. Our third fight of the night? Yes.
But also our co-main event.
Fourth. I'm sorry. Our co-main. We have the former champion, Jose Aldo, coming at 29-7. Yes, I know I said his name wrong. Probably one of the best bantam / featherweights of all time. Some people like to suck his dick, aka Zach Vanilla Face Gleason. But anywho, Jose Aldo coming at 5'7" with a 70-inch reach in bantamweight division at 135. Former champion is coming off a nice win versus Marlon Vera, where he dismantled him and showed him there's levels to this shit, as you people well know if you watch the show. Before that, he came off a 3-fight loss streak, all versus top guys, and Alexander Volkanovski, Marlon Moraes, and Peter Yan. So Jose Aldo is not necessarily washed up, even though I'd love to think so. He's not done yet. His opponent is Pedro Munez, coming at 19-5. His bantamweight is at 5'6" and a 65-inch reach. He's coming off a win in a banger of the fight versus Jimmy Rivera, which, if you've never seen, go back and watch because it's fucking fantastic. And before that, lost to Frankie Edgar and Aljamain Sterling, the champ. So, Zach, hand the mic over to you.
Well, you said I like to suck Jose Aldo's dick. Well, I guess I'll get on my knees and give a big old fat wet blowjob for you people on the other side of this mic, because I'm going with Jose Aldo, man. This dude is not washed at all. Looking at my counterpoints here, looking at my opponent, Pedro Munhoz, I think he's too slow. I don't like the way he fights. I've watched a lot of his tape because he may have dominant position here and there. He may be doing what they would consider to be controlling the octagon. But I think that's where Jose's at his best, where Aldo needs to be moving and circling and leg kicking and throwing shit up the middle. I don't personally think Jimmy Rivera is that great. I know it's a split decision, but he lost to 2020 version of Frankie Edgar, who's definitely not the same guy that he used to be. Aljamain Sterling aged well, and before that, when he beat Cody Garbrandt, which ironically has not aged very well since 2019. Regardless, I think Jose Aldo has been in rare form recently. That win over Chito Vera looked really good. And believe it or not, even though he lost and it was TKO, he almost went 5 rounds with Petr Yan, and he really didn't look bad in that fight at all. I didn't get a chance to watch the Volkanovski fight, but that fight went to decision.
That was at
Moraes went to
145.
decision. Yeah, that was at 145. But I just think the experience is going to play in too much here. And I think Pedro Munhoz is going to be in there probably looking for a knockout, probably looking to headhunt the old guy and try to kill him. But I think Jose Aldo is one of those guys, kind of like Dominic Cruz, where I just think he's still wily and crafty enough to figure out a way to win, even if it's a little bit boring and he's just circling and touching and moving and and move. But that's just a personal opinion. Let's hear what you got.
I actually agree with you, even though I just shit on you for like 5 minutes. I couldn't agree more. I do think that Pedro Munhoz is very good, but I just don't think he has the sauce. I don't think he has the juice to take on Jose Aldo, even though I don't want to believe he's one of the greatest of all time. I just think that like you said, the craftiness is going to be similar to Casey Kenny taking on Dom Cruz. Dom Cruz came out with a win. It was debatable as much as you want to debate it, but at the end of the day, I think the veteranship, if that's even a fucking word, I don't fucking know. Experience, yes.
Wisdom.
Yes, that and the octagon, and also still being young in the game, even though, Jose Aldo's been in the game forever. He's still in his early 30s. I think he still has gas in the tank, and it takes good people to beat him. I mean, for being completely honest.
Ironically enough, they're both 34. They're both 34. They're the same age, so there's no age anything here. It seems like, and
it's experience. Jose Aldo,
experience for sure.
He was like champion at 23, 24
in WEC.
Yeah,
in the prehistoric time period. But Jose Aldo versus Dom Cruz is going to be the fight to make after he wins here.
Yeah, I agree.
I guess we got to look at some odds and probably place a bet here or two.
Maybe. I don't know. The odds ain't been kind to us yet this week.
Look, I think we're just playing conservative because we played the odds last week and the week before and got freaking splintery dildo dick. Like, it was horrible. I mean, they took us to town the past couple of weeks, so we might be a little bit timid.
Yeah, fuck you, Vegas. Jose Aldo coming in, the best you can get him is minus 112. Not bad. Pedro Munhoz, even money at plus 100. Zach, What are your thoughts on this money line?
Minus 112 is fine. I think that's really good odds if you're going to take a favorite. And I think it's reflective of the fight we're going to see. I think it's going to be close. Fight goes to decision at minus 158. Excuse me. I'm thinking if y'all could, not y'all, if I could go back and look and find a couple of fights that I think are going to go to decision and parlay them together, we might be looking at a solid bet, actually. If we look at Aldo and Munoz goes to decision, Torres versus Hill goes to decision, and then I don't want to touch that Chiesa and Luque one, but maybe Song Yadong goes to decision too. It would be crazy if all the fights on the main card went to decision except for the main event, but I think it's worth the play, actually. It's worth the toss.
I mean, we're trying to toss salads out here. We're trying to make money, you know what I'm saying?
I know what you're saying. I got the Billy strut. But you got any props? Did you see anything? Because I'm like, it's slim pickings.
It's really not great. I mean, if we're gonna go with Aldo, I think probably fight goes to decision where it goes, but maybe you want to place two separate bets. Maybe Aldo wins by TKO up plus 520 to hedge your bets, and then you could be looking at some serious money on that kind of parlay. But I think we're both pretty stuck on Jose taking this one home. I just don't think Pedro Munoz is necessarily saw as great as competition as Jose Aldo. I mean, we're talking about a former champion forever, and he's made some people look dumb, and I don't think Pedro Munoz is at the top 5 level.
Well, I was about to say he might. I mean, excuse me. It might be completely unattainable, but Jose Aldo says he wants to try to win the belt. He wants to try to get another championship, and like I said, maybe unattainable, but at the end of the day, you can't doubt the guy's motivation. He's motivated. He knows what he wants, and he's going out there to get it. I don't think Pedro Munoz will be able to stop him, but this division's stacked, man. That top 5, I don't know how easily he's going to run through any of those guys. But
slim pickings.
Slim of the slim, unlike myself.
Like yourself, we'll get into the heavyweight main event.
Big boys.
H-Town, hold it down. We have the Black Beast, Derek Lewis, coming in at 25-7. My balls is hot for this fight, as Derek Lewis would say. Coming in at 6'3",
right.
Coming in at 6'3" with a 79-inch reach and weighing in at 263. 2 pounds below the heavyweight limit of 265. He is coming off of 4 wins, all against quality guys. That, I mean, these two right here, Blahogany, Ivanov, and Ilir Latifi, aged well. Curtis Blades definitely aged well. Lexi Oleinik, not so much. But when we look at him, we think knockout power. On the other side, we have Cyril Bon-Gamin. I think that means bad man. I'm not sure in French.
I think it means good kid, actually, or good gay. It's not something like that.
Oh, fuck. We don't know French. Sorry, folks. He's coming in at a stellar 9-0, looking like Adonis himself, the Greek statue. He's coming in at 6'4", with an 83-inch reach and weighing in at 245. So there's going to be a sizable weight difference. Obviously, one guy's fat, one guy's shredded. No offense, we love fat boys here. But he obviously hasn't lost. He's on a 9-fight win streak. But wins over JDS, aged all right. I mean, JDS is out of the UFC, I'm pretty sure. Jairzinho, which is big because we have to take that into account on how he's going to fight Derek and Alexander Volkov. So I'm going to take the reins here. If you don't mind me riffing for a couple minutes.
I would absolutely love it if you would riff for a couple of minutes.
All right. We love Derek Lewis here. We're big Derek Lewis fans. Not to say that Gane's bad. He's excellent. I think if a poor man could own – never mind. If a poor man – God damn it. I'm not saying this shit right. Cyril Gane is a poor man's John Jones. That's what I'm fucking trying to say here, folks. He's just a bad John Jones. He has the fucking body type. He has the physique. He moves well. He doesn't necessarily hit hard and have super knockout power, but he does have great submissions. He's overall really good and great athlete for a heavyweight. Derek Lewis on their side, not such a great athlete, but hits hard as fuck and will put your lights out with one shot. I keep going back and thinking Rosenstrike versus Gane. That went 5 rounds. Rosenstrike has one punch knockout power, and he didn't let Gane get knocked out. So that makes you think, what is Derek Lewis going to do? Zach?
What is Derek Lewis gonna do, man? One of the big things that strikes me, especially from a personal chord, my own testimony to the fans of the calf kick experience, is that I have 2 herniated discs in my lower back at L4, L5, and L5S1. And those things can absolutely be debilitating, especially if you're trying to be a professional athlete at the highest level, which was an injury Derek Lewis had. At the same time, Derek Lewis also had a torn ACL and a partially torn MCL. In the beginning of 2019, he gets the knee fixed. His coach, actually, I mean, it makes a lot of sense. You go to enough chiropractors and orthopedic doctors, they tell you, well, this bone's connected to this bone, this bone's connected to this bone, this bone's connected to this bone. But at the end of the day, Derek fixing his knee has helped his back. And the only loss on his record since then was JDS in his first fight off of knee surgery against a former champion of the world, who, again, aging. But since then, no looking back. Derek Lewis has looked incredible, and he's getting better every single fight. The one big compliment I have to say is the game plan. I talk about that Curtis Blades knockout a lot because it was really scary. But the game plan behind it, Derek Lewis practiced that punch 50 million times and landed it on one of the biggest stages that you can get, a main event on a UFC card. I just don't think Ciryl Gane is going to take kindly to the lights. I don't think he's going to take kindly to the Houston fans. And make sure nobody's watching me. I would not be against saying that he kind of looks starstruck, like Zhang Wei Li did in Florida, and he comes out there and kind of freezes and
shit's a brick.
I think Derek Lewis could end up hurting this man really, really badly.
I mean, you come back to the classic heavyweight topic, which is, are you taking the guy with the one punch eraser, or are you taking the guy that's more technically sound, that moves better? I mean, the perfect example of this is, on the flip side, what we're probably going to pick is Tyson Fury versus Deontay Wilder. Deontay Wilder had all the power. All he had to do was kick Fury one time and didn't do that. He actually got knocked out, which surprised a lot of people. But for this fight, I think Gane did a great job against Rosenstrike, but I just think Derek Lewis is that much better than Rosenstrike, and his accuracy with those heavy shots, as you've seen in the highlights, is just absolutely phenomenal. And he has better hand-eye coordination. I wouldn't say by too much, but he's super accurate with these punches, which is going to be a problem because anytime that Gane is going to engage and come in distance, that's when Derek Lewis is going to look to counter strike. He might take a jab and just land a bomb of over right hand to end the fight.
Which, I mean, you were touching on it. You have to compare to Rosenstrike because of the similar body type. But at the end of the day, looking at, Ivanov, Latifi, Olenek, and Blades, Derek Lewis moves a lot better than Rosenstrike. He's not just going to stand against the cage and pound his feet and throw heavy shots like he used to. He really is starting to look like a mixed martial arts fighter. And, I've even seen Derek Lewis throw some really good kicks in his last couple of fights, which is
heavy,
kind of strange to think about. But if Derek Lewis can do a good job of controlling the center, which doesn't seem to be his MO, but if he can basically keep Gane from circling around him like Gane did to Rosenstrike, And if he can cut him off one good time, like you said, it's the one punch eraser. And just kind of to your point, like you just said, Cyril Gane ate some pretty solid counter strikes against Volkov in his last fight, but the power difference between Volkov and Derek Lewis is like measurably larger. Like that's not even in the same ball field. That's little league to major league.
I have to say, yeah, it's like Giancarlo Stanton hitting a home run versus some schmuck in high school. I mean, it doesn't even like you go back and watch Derek Lewis's last fight against Curtis Blades, and it didn't even look like he connected cleanly, but he almost ended that man's life. He literally sent him to the shadow realm.
I mean, he starched him like a pair of Wrangler jeans, dude. And he didn't fucking move for like several minutes. Like Curtis, I really did the two lives that I felt like feared for in recent memory are Curtis Blades and Frankie Edgar after Corey Sandhagen kneed him in the face. Other than that, I mean, like I've seen some brutal knockouts in the past couple of years, but like those were the two where I was like, he might need to be life lighted to a hospital because he got fucked.
Yeah. Bad news bears for anybody that wants to test Derek Lewis. All right.
Good news. I guess Texans. What's the opposite? Good news Packers. If you want to bet on Derek Lewis, though, let's talk about that shit.
All right. Let's get in on the gambling action here. We have Cyril Gane coming in as I don't understand this, sizable favorite at minus 350, dude. That's a little heavy. And Derek Lewis at plus 310. I mean, they're buying way too high on Cyril Gane's hype. I know he's like beat some good guys, but like I'd say there's a top tier in the UFC heavyweights, and Derek Lewis is definitely at the top. I mean, he should be fighting for the real belt against Francis. He scared Francis and won, although it was a shitty fight. But let's talk about some props.
Dude, they're giving away free money here. And it's just crazy to think about because even Vegas, like this line even started out at minus 300 and everybody is just eating the chocolate cake disguised as a pile of shit that Cyril Gane is giving to everybody because the money is just flowing in on him. He'll probably be minus 400 before fight night if I had to take a guess. Nobody's betting on Derek Lewis. But if you really look at it, Lewis at what? Plus 310 is what we said? Plus 310.
Yeah, plus 450 for KO.
That's free money. That's giving it away. And even if you wanted to hedge your bet and do let me bet on Cyril Gane, fuck minus 350. He's not knocking out Derek Lewis, and he's not going to submit Derek Lewis. The Black Beast is incredibly hard to submit. And half the time, if you do get him on the ground, he just shrugs his shoulders and says, I'm tired of this. I'm going to get up now. So if you want to take Cyril Gane plus 160 at the fight does go to decision, I just feel like this main event is free money. Go to the dollar store and grab your penny candies because, I mean, it's
right.
Fucking stealing.
That's what I see. Yeah, plus 310. Obviously, these are all different, gambling sites and whatnot. But the best you can give is plus 310. Right, Derek Lewis, you come down, you snag a plus 450 for the KO, and while you're there, fucking take Derek Lewis wins in inside distance at plus 400. Are you kidding me? A fucking bankroll, pay off your house, maybe buy another one after that one, pal.
Look, we got to come up with a video edit. So if there's anybody out there that wants to do like a disco light music thing for us, this is big balls in motherfucking Cowtown.
Big balls.
I mean, like this is like stealing candy from the least whiny baby you've ever met. It's that fucking easy. And look, we'll probably come back on Monday morning next week and go, God damn it, why did we say that? We just shit the bed again. Here we are, Zach and Gage. But you know what? Fuck that. Fuck bad juju. Fuck bad karma. Fuck bad mojo. I'm in a new place. We're about to rock some shit. We're about to run it up.
I might be getting my degree in economics on Friday. So you should believe me because I know fucking money. I've only studied it for fucking 4 years.
Amen. Enough to that. Show him your hat.
All right, you can't. Hey, second place is the first loser. Fuck all that other noise. Winners only.
Bunch of fucking whores.
Shout out Ricky Bobby and Will Ferrell for the greatest movie of all time, Talladega Nights. Zach, let's get on to 5 minute championship round.
Phone up. Let me rock my stopwatch real quick, my timer. You feeling ready to fight, son?
Let's get it.
Let's get it. Go.
All right, buddy. Just announced today or yesterday, I believe, Luke Rockhold is going to fight Sean Strickland, the winner of last week's matchup. Your initial thoughts? Luke Rockhold coming back for the first time since 2019.
Luke Rockhold's going to fucking smoke his ass. Everything good that people have to say about Sean Strickland, I believe, solely at this point comes from, him fighting dudes that are his same size. He can bully guys that are his same size. Rockhold's bigger, but Uriah Hall looked like shit. I don't think Strickland's jab is that good. I think he just kind of flings it out there like, oh, my purse. Oh, my purse. I don't think it's that good. I think Luke Rockhold's gonna fucking rock this guy. And I don't even think Luke Rockhold's that good. I just am not high on Sean Strickland whatsoever. I mean, on the bright side though, UFC 268, it looks like he's gonna be on the MSG card with Gaethje and Chandler, as well as Colby and Usman too. That's gonna be a banger of a card, man.
Yeah, dude. All right, my thoughts on the Rockhold fight. Rockhold's fucking washed up. Yeah, he beat who fucking Weidman. Weidman wasn't a great champion. Rockhold wasn't a great champion. I mean, I just think Sean Strickland. Yeah, fuck you, dude. Strickland's jab is fucking elite, elite, and even fucking Uriah Hall, who, if I'm not mistaken, had a 4 or 5 inch reach advantage, still couldn't get into range. So that just speaks to how good his jab was. Although,
Uriah Hall's washed.
Fuck you, Uriah Hall. You're a washed ass pussy. Like, I'm sorry, dude. You made me look like an asshole. There was no tenacity. You look fucking scared. You look like a bitch. You made me look bad. So
Uriah Hall tried to box a dude that is a boxer. Uriah Hall is who I would classify as a kickboxer. He should be throwing kicks. He should be doing mixed martial arts, not boxing a guy who is primarily a Western boxer. I think Luke Rockhold will switch it up, and I think Luke Rockhold will question mark kick him in the head. I think that's Strickland's weak point, and I don't think Uriah Hall utilized it. But wait, let me hit you with this before we get close to the end. The fight card before 268 at MSG is 267. Dana said they're looking to put this one, I believe, on ABC because it'll be primetime Abu Dhabi, so it'll be during the day here. But listen to this lineup right now. Blachowicz versus Teixeira, Sterling versus Yan, Ribas versus Jandaroba, Makachev versus RDA, Volkov versus Tybura just got announced today. Hamzat, our boy, Chimaev versus the Leech, Jinglang Li. I don't know these guys. Walt Harris versus Tai Tuivasa. And then, what is it? I can't say that name. I can't. Nascimento. We just saw him fight. He's back. But that's a crazy card to give away for free, don't you think?
look, I think the UFC is in the business of making money, like our good friend, the Badger, Brendan O'Reilly, said. But if you get, I think in January, especially when Holloway was fighting Cater, that brought in a lot of new fans. I mean, if you can get that shit on during the day, especially during football season, what the fuck? If you get that shit on during football season leading up to football and you get football fans hooked on that main event, dude, you're gonna blow yourself up on the national stage because still there's a stigma around our sport, which is unfortunate because it's a great sport. However, that's a great card, and there's no way you cannot like it. It's pure competition.
I mean, at the end of the day, I love football. Football will be on because I think that card is what October. Speaking of that Blachowicz Teixeira card, Yuri Prochazka actually just signed on to be the backup fighter, which is another day on Dr. Phil, it looks like, because we're out of time. So I'm Zach Gleason. That's Gage Hamknocker. And this is another episode of the Calf King Experience. Signing out.